Okay, beautiful. Thank you for the intro, Greg. I appreciate it. So yeah, I was really, you all right now are way further than where I was when I had my SC2 last summer. Like I want you all, unless you started this week or last week, you are all already ahead of the game and already doing better than I was because I also had below average numbers. But last summer, Jacob was telling me about this push, everything it had done for him. I was sitting there thinking, I was like, it's 17 days. What's the worst thing that happens if I go all out? Literally, just like Maya was saying, like the worst thing that happens is you put in a lot of work, you have something to put on your resume, you stand out to your managers, like thinking if you make 0 sales, which all of you sell on at least 50% of your demos, you already are putting in effort, you're making yourself proud, you're making, I guess, base pay. You all should be making commission and during SC2. And again, like you're standing out to your people and your managers and everything like that. And so that was sort of my mindset going into it. I was like, why not? Like, my biggest goal and like my biggest motivator financially is because I'm paying for half of my tuition. And most of you are in college or went through school and you know what that price tag looks like. So that was another big motivator, was just like, man, especially my parents put me through a really fantastic school for 14 years. And I gotta pay them back somehow. My jokes won't cut it. So I want to make sure that, a big motivator was just to make sure that I could not only help my parents, but also relieve some stress. There had been a bunch of financial things. And so that was a really, really big motivator, is just because I'm paying for half of my tuition and because what else am I going to do for 17 days? Like in my mind, even if there wasn't COVID, there is nothing better to do with these next 17 days, like nothing at all. There is no reason to not go all out. And so I guess I have a list of I added 4 more during Maya's talk, but I have a list of 78 reasons why. But another thing I ask myself all the time is like, why not? There are literally no reasons why not to go for it. Jacob and I were talking earlier today. He's like, Lindley, the worst thing that happens is you do 85 demos and you kill it and you're proud of yourself for completing 85. I was like, you're right. So that was sort of my mindset last summer. There were lots of ups and started with a lot of downs. I got my 5 bad days out of the way right away. So if that happens to you all, don't worry. That literally happened to me. I sold like $400 on 18 demos. So don't worry. You can still crawl your way back out. It was also one thing that was really thinking about what happened after the push for me. Like I said, money is a big motivator, not because I spend it a lot. I'm like one of the most frugal people you'll know, but just because I know sort of like how Cutco is a vehicle, I know that money is a vehicle to get to where I want to be. And so the push last summer really put things in perspective for me. So Greg said I did sell, I sold 25,550 CPO. So I'm going to put my thermometer as 25,551. So why not? But I was looking at my paychecks from SC2 last summer, and I started off at about SC2 last summer at about 7,500 in sales. So I was not even at 30%. First paycheck was over $1,800. Second was almost $2,600. And third, in a span of 3 days, was $3,285. And so I made $7,700 in 17 days just from working hard. I was not very talented. I just put in the work. I completed the demos. And after that, I have paid for my half of my freshman year so far. I've invested and maxed out 6K in a Roth IRA. That's another one of my whys this year, so that I can continue to max out that Roth IRA every year. If you don't know what that is, look into it. I am a firm believer that unless I had gone as hard as I did in SC2, I would not be where I am in the company, not only in sales, but also like where I am, like the level of respect that I have and the eyes that are on me and the positions that I have hopefully coming. Greg, I'm going to knock on wood there for branching. But just all of the doors that have opened just because I grinded in 17 days is like astronomical. I earned a scholarship. I was able to boost my resume. That's another thing for you all. If you haven't put boost your resume down on your list of reasons why, if you, even ignoring the resume part, when you grind these next 17 days, your manager is going to write you a killer letter of recommendation when you figure out what you want to do. So that's another thing for you to think about. It's another reason why for you to jot down. Another thing, sort of to get a little bit into how I want to grow as a person, how I grew last summer and how I want to continue to grow. Like Maya talked about, it's difficult for me to let things go and to be fully confident. And so A big goal, and I actually, this is my number 26, is I want to show myself that I can do something that scares me. And right now, booking up, not even booking up 100 plus demos and completing 85 demos is something that's freaking terrifying. But I told Evan Gray this over the semester. I told him, I was like, if I can do all of this and get a 4.0, I can do anything. I ended up doing all of Cutco and still got a 4.0 last semester, which means I can do anything, which means I can do 85 demos. So I have that same mindset this summer, where it's like, if I can push and I can grind and I can just like absolutely fully focus tunnel vision on Cutco for the next 17 and a half days, because we have till noon on the 30th, and I can do anything. And that's something that's really important for you all to remember, is again, it's 17 days. Like that's like less than like what midterms are collectively, and midterms suck. You get nothing out of it. You pay for midterms. Like, you guys are getting paid bank, you're building your resume, everything like that. And I want you all to be proud of what you accomplished. I know I am proud of what I accomplished last summer. I'm not satisfied with that. I want to do even more this summer, and I want to be more proud of myself and just have more confidence in myself. And honestly, this is a slight side note for why, but I really want to be one of those people on Greg's slideshow at the SC2 prep, because they're all men. So I really want to be on that slideshow too. So that's another big reason why for me. But in general, if you, like Maya was saying, if you haven't come up with your reasons why, I mean, you're not really pushing. So come up with your reasons why before midnight tonight if you haven't. I mean, this is the best time to do Cutco. This is the best part of Cutco. This is my favorite 17 days in the business. It was last year. I was 100% my best self. I was on top of everything. It was just fantastic. And I'm scared, but I'm very excited for the next 17 days. And I want you all to have that mindset of being like, man, I'm about to really push myself, but it's going to be so worth it. And I'll close. I just thought of this. Jacob knows one of my favorite lines that he says is, no fatigue is felt on the day of victory. So have that mindset throughout the push. Y'all are going to kill it. Let's get to some phoning and let's book up our weeks.
Awesome. Thank you, Lindley. That was fire.